Johnny Depp is back. The comeback, which is awaited by 3 generations of fans, seems to really take place. According to the Insider, Disney and Depp have finally made up, and a script has been launched foreseeing the appearance of Jack Sparrow in the next Pirates of the Caribbean. Moreover, filming may begin very soon, and you won't have to wait long for the release. Write in the comments how long you have been waiting for the return of the captain, and we will be a little more detailed from this moment. First of all, it is worth reminding that the data is unofficial, but, to be honest, I am willing to believe in them because everything has been going on for a very long time. The idea with the spin-off Margot Robbie and the female reboot is a product of the inflamed consciousness of Disney, the era of Ms. Marvel, and the interview with the director of Star Wars, Sharmeen Obaid, where she said that her goal is to make men feel awkward. Since then, a lot of water has flowed away. Bob Chapek is fired, Bob Iger is back, and at the last meeting of investors, Iger said that he had personally cut down several famously failed projects. Now Disney is focused only on proven assets. Needless to go far for confirmation. Downey Jr. and the Russo brothers are already returning to Marvel. Well, the cherry on the cake was the announcement of February 12, 2025, where Disney said that it was turning the policy of inclusiveness. The New York Post, with a reference to corporate officials, reported that Disney, under pressure from investors and the new U.S. administration, is turning programs to promote minorities and inclusiveness. The legendary program Reimagine Tomorrow, in which Disney was obliged to give 50% of the roles to the cinema, the so-called minorities. The gender-neutral standard of appearance, the Disney look, also disappeared from the corporation's website. No wonder, because a small, inclusive maneuver cost Disney $100 billion lost in 5 years of capitalization, not to mention the reputation losses, because the Star Wars and the Marvel Universe fans are not waiting. Here is a similar story with Pirates. In Star Wars, fans were waiting for the Jedi, Sith, the Old Republic, and brutal political intrigues, but they got Acolyte, sterile Ahsoka, and the promise of the soloist Rey from the director of The Feminist. Marvel, they were waiting for the multiverse and got Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and the She-Hulk. And they're in the last month's tectonic shifts. The soloist Rey was suspended. Instead of him giving resources to the Dawn of the Jedi, the director of Logan, James Mangold, the She-Hulk was removed from the Marvel canon. But they returned Downey Jr. with Chris Evans so that they burn in the next Avengers. In general, Disney demonstrates signs of healing, and the return of Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean is absolutely logical and in some ways even a predictable step. But what's next? Next is the most interesting, because the scenario of Pirates of the Caribbean 6 is already ready. Yes, not one, but 2 at once. The producer of the franchise, Jerry Bruckheimer, felt where the wind was blowing and developed 2 scenarios. Point 1 is working for the current Disney agenda, and the other is adequate for a possible return of Depp. Bruckheimer, Johnny's old friend, has repeatedly regretted his problems with Disney in interviews. But he's been in business for a long time to understand that money solves any problems. And Pirates with Depp and Pirates without him are completely different money. So the Bruckheimer has a script on the table right now. As for what it will be, opinions differ. Plus or minus is known only from the first script of the Disney era of enmity with Depp. In it, a young woman pirate and gathers a team to go in search of the treasure. Her teacher was Jack Sparrow, who, depending on the situation, was either shown in a small cameo or simply mentioned. Further, a classic pirate story, but with new faces and old men exclusively for fanservice. In general, it's rotten. But the charm of the plan is that this scenario can be used both for the main franchise and for a spin-off, from which there is less demand, and when returning the depot to the main line of films, the audience will not be tuned to the spin-off negatively, and there, you see, you will be able to earn money. But the second scenario of Bruckheimer is already more interesting. Because, unlike the first one, its content is a secret behind 7 seals, which kind of immediately hints at which of the 2 scenarios the producer of the franchise saw as the main one. There are theories about the daughter of Depp, Jenny Ortega. There are versions about the son of Austin Butler, and there are assumptions about the return of the entire original cast for, so to speak, the last race. But in reality, you can shoot anything. At least one more trilogy. Depp is 61, and not that Jack Sparrow's role is very demanding of his physical condition. He will definitely have enough health for the new trilogy. But the main obstacle on the way, even if they agreed, is the salary. In 2018, immediately after the release of the 5th part, A contract for the sixth part was signed with Depp. Actor Jack Wingham revealed in 2022 that Depp received $22.5 million plus a small percentage of the fees, the amount of money Depp got during the trial with Amber Heard. After all, not only did he lose such a fat contract, but Heard also wanted to get money from him from above. Johnny was in a near-bankrupt state, and it is unlikely that the actor forgot it. You don't need to be a genius to understand that Depp, in addition to a new salary, wants to return these $22.5 million and thus receive millions, so 50% plus from the fees. Will Disney agree to such an open question? After all, the corporations will have to admit their wrongdoing. And with this, big businessmen have gigantic problems. However, the pirates will have even more problems without a depot, so most likely they will not go anywhere and agree. Or maybe they already agreed. Because the same insiders claim that Disney is supposedly ready to start production in the very near future, almost this fall. In production magazines. Disney since November 24th has a label untitled POTC movie with the date and start of work at the end of the 25th year. POTC is obviously Pirates of the Caribbean. With such a work schedule, the film can easily be released in the 26th or 27th year, which would be symbolic. Because it will be exactly 10 years since the release of the fifth part in the distant 2017. The only question is whether the recording was related to the shooting of that version of the script, with the student of Jack Sparrow and other needs, which Disney seemed to have abandoned. Jerry Bruckheimer, about the deadlines, drives the fog. The producer says only that the sixth Pirates will probably come out 100%, but when? A mystery. However, there is one option that will suit everyone. This option is a simple continuation of the fifth part because the sixth script was ready back in 2017. Disney planned to shoot the Dead Do Not Tell tales in the sixth part one after another, like Marvel with the War of Infinity and the finale. The contracts were with Kaya Scodelario and director Joaquin Raining, but suddenly, even before Amber Heard and Johnny Depp figured it out, Disney turned their plans, but only about filming one after another. The script itself did not raise any questions. It was fate that interfered, which, first through COVID, then through a scandal with the depot, did not allow the plans to be implemented. Considering that many did not like the script of the fifth film, maybe it is for the best. However, it is also impossible to exclude the return of the franchise to its roots and shake the dust from the old plans. Moreover, unlike the depot, Kay Scodelario and other actors seem to have contracts, and their rupture will cost Disney a penny. Again, if you remember how Disney did with Star Wars and Marvel, this option looks optimal. There, the studio also hit the brakes and sharply returned the franchise to its roots. Given that the same people will make the decisions, the option with the six Pirates as a continuation of the fifth part still works, with the only difference being that the scenario will need to be cosmetically corrected a little by the characters and age. The department itself keeps a coffin in silence on the Pirates, and this is also, in some cases, a signal about future negotiations. After all, when Disney and business with Depp broke up, he was not shy to comment on what was happening in the interview. Now Johnny is silent, which is also a good sign. The actor, after the justification, is engaged in small projects, one of which came out quite recently. This is a film called Fashion and 3 Days on the Wings of Madness about the Italian artist Amedeo Modigliani and his life in Paris in 1916. There Depp acted as a director, and the film even came with an official rental to Russia. The reviews, however, are quite average, and the project is suitable only for ardent fans of Depp's style. Johnny has no more film shortly, and it is worth admitting that he needs pirates just as he needs pirates. Even after being acquitted in court and receiving an award for his contribution to the cinema of the Roman festival, he is still not very happy with the offers from large depot studios. There are only rumors that he wants to be invited to DC James Gunn, which also suffered from Disney's impulsive policy of dismissals without evidence. In this case, legal chaos may arise, because it is unlikely that Disney will allow to work with competitors. But these are already such wild theories that we will not get into them. Let's continue with the fact that Keira Knightley suddenly said that the filming of the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy was the hardest experience for her. The actress complained that she was brought up to the rank of a superstar at the same time, for which she is grateful, but she also had to work round the clock, and then listen to the hate of the fans that she played terribly, and also jokes on the set, sexism, and xenophobia. As a result, Knightley says that he will think twice before even allowing the idea of returning to the franchise because she has a mess in her head. Orlando Bloom responded to the statement, saying that he sympathizes with Knightley, but personally for him the experience of filming in Pirates was wonderful, and he would gladly return in any role. Bloom even whispered that he was talking to Jerry Bruckheimer, and the producer hinted at Napoleon's plans for the next part. So who knows, maybe after such a giant expectation, Disney will apologize to the fans by returning all the old men? Probably. This would be the best way out of the situation. Then the studio can shoot as many female spin-offs and relaunches as it wants. But for starters, I would like to say goodbye to the old and already familiar characters. And what do you think? Share your opinion in the comments, and that's all for now. See you soon, friends.